Hello, fellow collectors. So I was watching Champion DJK's channel, and a few days ago or last week, he was showcasing, these new Volkswagens, and I just saw this crazy color, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't actually have a Volkswagen Golf in my 64 scale collection, so I thought I'd pick it up and do a little learning here. So let's cut this thing open. I really just bought this thing because it looks cool, you know. But now through my research, if you look at these photographs, this is actually a real car, so it's pretty interesting. First though, let's talk about the Golf here. This is the very first generation. The Volkswagen Beetle was not doing well. You know, that was an old design from World War II, and this is its replacement. It is believed that Volkswagen knew this and started, looking at prototypes of a replacement way back in the 50s even. But ultimately, the car that won out was designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro, who is one of the most infamous car designers of our time, and his company Ital Design, designed this. Whereas the Beetle was all like organic looking and swoopy and curvy, this is totally the opposite. This is his origami or folded paper style, which emphasizes sharp corners and flatness. But it still looks pretty attractive now. Maybe back when I was a kid I thought it was just an economy car, which is what it was, but nostalgia kicks in, right? So it looks cool now. Over the 8 generations of the Golf, still presently sold today, as of 2013, according to Wikipedia, over 30 million of them have been built, so quite a few. And this first generation was first sold in 1974, and it lasted quite a while. It wasn't until the second generation that came out in 1983, so almost a decade. Okay, so the stock ones had a 1.1 to 1.6 liter inline 4 up front, and it's now front wheel drive, whereas the Beetle was rear engined and rear wheel drive. And the Beetle, beyond the fact that it was an old antiquated design in the 70s, it got some bad press. There was actually a German article or something saying how dangerous it was, and then also the exchange rate with the US dollar pretty much killed its sales off in America. There was the OPEC oil embargo. Things were not going well for Volkswagen. I think they were close to bankruptcy. This car helped turn their future around. Okay, so now you notice here this is racing livery. So this is the very first racing Golf. This is before the GTI came out, and this thing actually has a 1.8 liter engine, and it's tuned to 175 horsepower, so that's quite a lot compared to the stock vehicles. Okay, let's take a look here at this casting now. Alright, so yeah, well, you know what, I'm going to just pull it up to the photos, and then we'll compare. So let's look at this photo here. I guess Volkswagen even paid to have this thing restored, because it is a significant part of history. It was a privateer that created this car originally. Okay, so what do you guys think? It looks pretty accurate to me. It's got these, well, the wheels are not the same though. Although I'm not sure if these are, the wheels in the photo are updated. Maybe back, they're supposed to be BBS wheels. I don't know if those are them or not, or some newer wheels. But when you look at the Greenlight, Greenlight wheels, they just don't look like mesh wheels at all. Well, no, no, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but no, they're just not the same. But anyways, the printing matches up quite a bit. Most of the sponsorship stickers seemed quite similar, so no complaints there. There is an additional printing of Golf there in the middle, but I'm not sure if these pictures are of the restored car. They might be of the restored car, and maybe the graphics of this are the original car when it was built in the 70s. Okay, let's go to the front view here. Okay, so you can pause and kind of ask yourself. The wheel arches are missing. That's definitely different as well. So, but again, I didn't do enough research. I don't know if these wheel arches were put on originally back in the 70s. I'd imagine they were. But, Greenlight didn't decide to do new tooling. So, other than this air dam, they did add that though. but maybe there's a separate piece. Oh, maybe it's not. Well, let's get into the casting now. Okay, so yeah, I was mentioning the wheels. Do those look like mesh wheels to you guys? I'm not really seeing it, you know. It's they just look like they got a bunch of weird bumps. It's all broken up. These are really strange wheels, actually. They're not consistent. Maybe at some point in time they were mesh wheels, but the mold is just a disaster now. Look at this. This is not. These are some horrible wheels. I might have to do a wheel swap, actually. I have some BBS wheels that came with an Inno 64, so, but they're just too big, so that's not going to work either. That's too bad. I'm not sure if I want to do a 3D printed wheel project. If I do, I'll probably just do another video later on. Let's just continue on with this. Okay, so, yeah, the sponsorship, you know, it's all tampo printed. It seems like. I don't think there are any decals, so these should stay pretty good for a while. Even the window one looks like it's tampo printed. It's not a decal. There's a little gas cap there. Looks pretty good. Pretty good panel gaps. Pretty tight, right? My pick can't go into it, so that's nice. This orange is quite nice. It's like a neon safety orange, and that's what makes me like this car. It's just so bold. Really bold color. Okay, so I do have to say I've looked at two of these in retail stores, and both of them had this silver printing messed up because the thing is ribbed here, and even though the logo is smooth there, they just were both missing the mark. So I just decided I'm not going to spend like a year trying to find the perfect model. I just bought this. I guess I could just strip that off with maybe some alcohol or something, and then just use a silver Sharpie and hit the smooth part of the logo. Maybe that's something you guys can do as well. So yeah, I don't like these just flat painted headlights. I really like what Hot Wheels is doing, how they print graphics onto the headlights, you know, so they have like some artifacts or like shadows in the printing themselves. Just one continuous flat paint, it just looks weird. Not really a fan of it. And white's not the best color. For me, I think I'd rather have a silver paint, because if you look inside of a headlight bucket, it's reflective chrome, right? So silver is closer to chrome than, say, white. White to me looks like it's a headlight that's turned on. It's just weird. Not a fan. Okay, that's one of my gripes, I guess. But look at these vents are pretty nice. They're pretty far in there. Yeah, right. I guess you could add some black here if you wanted to. Okay, so yeah, this side, I am noticing now also there's a big chunk of plastic missing from that wheel, so quality control is not very good there by Greenlight. It seems to be the case. I noticed that in a lot of other people's reviews and comment sections. Look at this tire is just messed up. You can actually see the center section. Hopefully I can just flip it around because there's no printing on the tire. Okay, so yeah, as we noticed before, there's golf printed on there. Deep recess is here again. A little black would be helpful though. The taillights are printed pretty nice. I'm okay with that. This one does say rabbit. I don't know if the real car says rabbit or golf. It might actually, it's hard to say, I don't know, but so anyways, well, what's here? Yeah, that's not really legible either. Or is it? It's supposed to say Volkswagen. Half of the letters are Volk, then it kind of gets messed up. I guess it's a decent enough job. Okay, so there's a little key lock here on the trunk. Little printed sticker there of VW something. And then the roof there. Any paint issues? I feel like there's some contaminants or something. Like there's black specks here. And maybe I could polish those out. Okay, so they got the 101 here, Tampa printed. It says golf there. Alright. So yeah, as usual, if you notice my Greenlight reviews, I'm not a fan of these panel gaps. They're just not consistent. Right? Even on this panel, this is a nice tight gap. This is somewhat looser, and then that's very loose. So it's just, I would really love it if they just gave up on these engine hoods. I mean, if you guys want to see details, just buy a bigger model, 1/18 scale, and then you can have all the detail in the world. But this is, to me, not worth it for me. It's like, it's missing all the extra plumbing. If they just avoided all this, then they would have the budget to just have plastic inserted lights all around, and then I think they would look like Kyoshos. And if you guys think Kyoshos look worse than Greenlights, well, that's your opinion. I'm not agreeing with you. I think Kyoshos in general look a lot better than the Greenlights because they don't have these silly gaps. Alright, but no choice here. Or actually, there are choices. Kyosho does make a first generation Golf Rabbit. So does TLV. It's just that I don't really love this car enough to spend that kind of money. So at least the good thing about Greenlight is they're not super expensive. And in fact, for the price, you're getting a lot of cool car. You're getting a lot of cool model, I think, than for the price. It's just, it could be better, I think. Alright, so you can get hints of this green already, right? And this does seem accurate to the car. You can look up this number 101 Golf, and you'll find a web page that shows a whole bunch more pictures than what I showed you guys. And it does have a green interior. You know, it's been painted green on the inside. So yeah, we got molded details, and I think that's all you can really expect for this price point. You're not gonna get extra decals or extra printing inside. But I gotta say, there is actually two colors. You know, the base plate is green, and then you got the black steering wheel and dashboard. So that's actually more than I would expect. If this was a Kyosho, it'd just all be black. So that's nice. So give credit to Greenlight there. Painted on wiper blades. It would have been nicer if they were molded in, I think, but I'm not gonna change that. And what does this say? Oh, this is the person, I think, that made the car. Noel? Not well? I can't read it, unfortunately. But this is the last name of the person that made this car originally. And then it was restored by the person's son and Volkswagen. So, okay, that's cool. Here it is. Nothel. I'm not German, so I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Nothel Tuning. Must be a tuning company. So anyways, last thing here is a little muffler tip. That's a really small muffler tip, actually. Pretty impressive. And it's part of the metal casting. That is probably the nicest exhaust tip I've seen of, you know, that wasn't a separate piece of plastic. It's so thin, right? It's so realistic. I mean, it's blanked off. I guess it could, if there was a recess, that'd be even better, but I don't know if you could expect that for something that small. Okay, so let's see here. We know it's a 75. We know who made it, and we know it was made in 2019, or the first casting. The tire treads look pretty nice, and the tire width looks pretty nice as well. It looks pretty correct for the period, for the mid-70s. It is riveted together, okay. And yeah, it does seem to be its own unique casting, because you can see the air dam here. So that's interesting. If they were going to go through the trouble of this casting, it would have been nice if they actually casted in the fender flares. What do you guys think? I mean, that would have been nice, right? It would have been more accurate. Oh well. Okay, well anyways, it's still pretty cool. I didn't know this was a real car in real life. I just thought it was a cool looking color scheme, so I bought it. So as usual, I actually learned something through collecting diecast cars. Okay, let's get the little spins machine out and give it one last give you guys one last chance to compare things. I get a lot of requests for people asking about the bases of vehicles and rollability. Sorry guys, I don't care about any of that stuff. You know, I just want a model that looks realistic. So if you want to, you know, roll your cars around, go ahead and do so, but if I forget to mention that, sorry, it's just not important to me. All my models just go into the display case and look cool. I don't actually play with them. You know, I'm a grown man, so I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't roll well. I'm trying to chuck it across the screen here. It doesn't roll well, so there you guys go. It's a metal base. Okay, so alright, well anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. It's an interesting piece of history, actually. This is a car that came out before the GTI, which is obviously a significant part of Volkswagen's history. So alright, I'll see you guys in the next review.